Pedro Pascal didn't just leave town, folks. Whispers say he fled to Dubai after a royal rumble with Bob Iger over the disastrous Fantastic Four 2 failure. We're talking about a cinematic meltdown so epic it makes the Hindenburg look like a minor fender-bender. But the real story isn't just about a flop, it's about what happened behind closed doors. A story so wild it could only happen in Hollywood. And believe me, it starts with a temper tantrum so fierce, it reportedly rattled the windows on Bob Iger's office. The question is, what was the tantrum about?
It's been a dream to join the MCU. The movie is called The Fantastic Four. I'll confess, I did all my stretching for...
Rumor has it, the whole drama started when a memo landed on Pascal's desk. The subject line was allegedly a simple 3 words: the numbers are in. And let me tell you, those numbers were in the negatives. We're talking about a box office performance so bad, accountants were reportedly asking if they could round up to 0. But instead of taking it on the chin, rumors say Pascal stormed into Iger's office, not to apologize, but to demand answer. But what he reportedly demanded was so unbelievable, it left the entire Marvel Studios leadership team in complete and utter silence.
Pedro Pascal is firing back. He's getting very tired of everything when it comes to critics. He's getting very angry over fans, talking about the box office, talking about specific characters in the film and how things were changed here and there.
The word on the street is that Pedro, with a passion usually reserved for his craft, told Iger that the failure wasn't his fault, nor the director's. He said it was the fans' fault for being too distracted by their internet daddy memes to appreciate his serious, gritty take on Reed Richards. The nerve. This is a man who built a career on being a lovable, wholesome internet icon. Now, he's throwing that very audience under the bus and then blaming them for running out of gas.
Been with each other.
Well,
He's
that's
one of my
good.
favorite people.
Sometimes I felt like I was in a Reed Richards science class, which is not what I really wanted to be in.
But here's where it gets even spicier. Insiders claim that Iger, with a look of pure astonishment, reportedly pulled up a stack of social media reports. These weren't just about the movie's poor reception. They were about something far more damning. The reports detailed how the online community had completely turned on Pascal after his Blame the Fans interview. It wasn't just a few tweets, we're talking about a full-scale digital rebellion. But what did the social media report reveal about Pascal's co-stars, and how did their reaction impact Pascal's standing at Disney?
Look, on one end, you're going to have a lot of fans saying that this is a very weak or somewhat weak box office performance for the Fantastic Four. Others are going to say that it's a very strong box office opening.
The reports were a goldmine of behind-the-scenes whispers. According to what we've heard, co-stars Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn were reportedly caught on camera subtly avoiding Pascal during the press tour. There was this one infamous clip that went viral, where Quinn was asked about Pascal's take on the film and he just froze. We're not talking about a little pause, we're talking about a full-on deer in the headlights moment where he just stared into the camera as if his soul had left his body. The kind of silence that says, I'm not getting involved in this mess. But it turns out that silence spoke volumes.
Look, this is not a life-changing, the MCU has been saved, this movie paid off my car, this movie cured my depression.
The deafening silence from Pascal's co-stars was taken as a form of silent protest by the internet. This was a man who, until recently, had a reputation for being the nicest guy in Hollywood. Now, he was reportedly so difficult on set that his co-stars were acting like he had the cinematic plague. The buzz on set was that Pascal allegedly demanded so many script rewrites that the production was delayed for weeks. Can you imagine? An entire billion-dollar movie franchise waiting on one man's vision? But it wasn't just the script that was a problem. It was something far more personal. Rumors flew that Pascal was also butting heads with the director over his character's arc. Pascal reportedly wanted a darker, more brooding Reed Richards, while the director was aiming for the classic, heroic genius we all know and love. We're talking about a fight so intense, it reportedly ended in a shouting match on the soundstage. And it wasn't just about the character's journey, it was about the final scene itself. The one scene that was supposed to set up the next Avengers movie. The whispers from the production crew were that the final action sequence, which was a huge part of the movie's marketing, was almost completely scrapped because Pascal refused to shoot it until his changes were approved. And what were those changes, you ask? A source close to the production said Pascal wanted to add a brooding, dramatic monologue about the weight of being a hero instead of the epic team-up scene that was written. A monologue in the middle of a superhero action movie. It's a bold move, to say the least, but this drama wasn't just contained to the set, it was spilling over into the real world. After the movie flopped and the internet turned on him, Pascal reportedly went into a full-blown meltdown. We're not talking about a sad actor meltdown, we're talking about a scorched earth, I'm not doing this anymore meltdown. He allegedly began to ghost his publicist and reportedly refused to do any damage control interviews. This was a man who had built his career on being charming and approachable, and now he was doing a full 180. But the real turning point, the one that reportedly sent him packing to Dubai, was a conversation with Bob Iger himself. It turns out the conversation with Iger didn't go so well. A source with knowledge of the situation said Iger reportedly told Pascal that his recent actions and on-set behavior had not only jeopardized the future of Fantastic Four, but had also put other upcoming Marvel projects in a difficult position. The unwritten contract in Hollywood is that you don't trash the fans, especially not the ones who turned you into a star. But what did Iger reportedly say next that led to Pascal leaving the country altogether? The rumor mill is working overtime, but the most consistent story is that Iger reportedly mentioned recasting the role, not just in some far-off future, but for the next movie. The conversation was apparently a calm but firm, "We may have to go in a different direction." Can you imagine? The face of Marvel's new era being told that his time might be up, all because of a few bad interviews and some on-set drama. But it wasn't just the recasting threat that reportedly pushed Pascal to his limit. It was what happened to his other career projects. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Whispers from trade magazines suggested that at least 2 major studios were quietly reconsidering Pascal for leading roles. The backlash was too much of a risk. And it wasn't just the big studios, it was the loyal fan base. The internet persona that was his greatest strength, the one that had elevated him to superstardom, was now filled with criticism and roasts. The very people who once adored him now felt betrayed. But what did this mean for his long-term career? Was the damage irreparable? Rumors say that Pascal, realizing the full extent of the damage, made a desperate attempt to fix things. He reportedly tried to reach out to his co-stars, to no avail. He allegedly tried to get an emergency meeting with Marvel, but his requests were reportedly ignored. The damage was done, and the bridges had been burned. But here's the most shocking part of the whole story. The one detail that paints the entire thing in a completely different light. A brand new rumor has just surfaced from a source inside Disney. A rumor so wild, so unbelievable, it makes everything we've heard so far sound like a kindergarten play. This source claims that Pascal's publicist was the one who encouraged him to blame the audience. The publicist's logic? To generate controversy and keep the movie in the news cycle, no matter how bad the press. Can you believe it? The whole blame the fans interview, the one that torpedoed his career, was allegedly a calculated PR move gone horribly wrong. But if it was a PR move, what happened between Pascal and his publicist after the plan went south? The final whisper from Hollywood is that Pascal and his publicist had a massive falling out. The publicist reportedly claimed that the plan would have worked if Pascal hadn't added that bit about the fans being too distracted by his memes. Pascal, in turn, allegedly blamed the publicist for giving him such a risky and tone-deaf strategy in the first place. The relationship reportedly ended with a fiery email exchange and a cease and desist letter. But what does this mean for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And will we ever see Pedro Pascal return as Reed Richards?